So let's get into this one. Obviously, week one of LEC's been undertaken already, right? I've just got to start. We've got to start with, to me, the biggest storyline, which is, I know you especially had to go through last year the whole thing of like, why are you still betting on Perkz? Why haven't you just given up on him? It's like, and at Worlds, I was just sort of going, really? No one sees why. Like, to me, this was like, you. That's like if Bitcoin went to like $1 tomorrow. What, you wouldn't buy it? If you wouldn't, you're a moron, mate. I'd buy loads of it for fucking $1. So to me, it was like the easiest buy-in of all time. It's like, dude, it's Perkz. Like, he's going to make it work somehow. So to me, they're doing it again, Dom. It's only 3 games and already. Yeah. Because I will say, they did build this as a super team, and obviously it has massive names, but everyone's out on Vitality already, I know. It's like, they already decided it's trash, it can't work. Like, go on, hit me with your thoughts. Where are you at on Vitality?
I mean, I just think about it like this. So let's say Vitality ends up having a pretty mediocre season. They go like 9-9 or something, squeak into the playoffs as 6th seed. Do you want to play them? Like, if you're like a Mad Lions fan or a Rogue fan, would you want to play Vitality in the first round in playoffs? And it's like, and then most people would be like, no, I don't want to play them then, because like they have all these players, there's all this volatility. Like, they could just pop off randomly. What happens if we just get playoff Perkz? What happens if he just starts smurfing? That's the same reason why you shouldn't give up on them right now, is because that's in the back of your mind that this team will probably end up being pretty good. I mean, they have a bunch of people that are just winners on that team, and I feel like they have the perfect combination of players that have that like championship like winners mentality, where I see that with Carzzy. I see that like mentality of, you know what, it's going to come together. Like, I believe we can win. Like, that just pure belief in your own ability and your team's ability that things will just work out. I see that in Perkz. And then you have that complemented with the skill, right? Like, you have the self-made, the Alfari, the people that haven't been able to win yet, but they have the tools to have that happen. So I just feel like that's really what you need for one of these teams to be successful. You don't just put 5 Perkzes on a team where it's like, oh, all these people that are a little bit less skilled but have, you know, all the intangibles. Like, no, you only need one Perkz. Like, Matt, yeah, maybe he runs it down sometimes, but what's gonna matter is that guy is going to be on your team in games that really, really matter. So when people are fucking nervous and they're worried, oh shit, what's gonna happen? Oh, I hope we don't lose this series. I've lost in the first round before. We lost in the first round last time. I hope this doesn't happen again. You have that guy in your team that's like, yeah, we're just gonna win. We will win this game. Like, I'm gonna make sure. Like, that's the type of confidence you need on the team. So, dude, I saw it all of last year. Obviously, people know that Perkz is one of my favorite players. He's probably my favorite player. And I got to hear it all last year. Tom, he's inting in Summer Split. He's inting. Oh my God, they didn't even win Summer Split. They're going to, like, what happened at Worlds? They had by far the best North American performance that we've had in the last 3 years. Since that C9 semi, that was the best North American performance that we've had. And think about how they got there. What happened in that tiebreaker? It was Rogue versus C9. The best player in the game by far was Perkz. He was the only, like, he was inting half of his plays, but his good plays were so good that they canceled out all of the bad plays that he made. So I mean, like, dude, this guy, like, how do you give up on him in week 1? Like, even if they ran it down this whole split, I wouldn't give up on them by the next split. Like, you got to give them some time to actually gel. And then also you hear like certain players have COVID. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't want to speculate too hard, but you could see in some of the mic checks, players had their cameras off. When G2 had their players off, their cameras off, those were the players that actually had COVID there. So just let them fucking breathe, man. It's week 1. It's a long season. Like, chill out.
Yeah, I'll even say as well, first of all, I totally agree on the playoff point. Like, listen, no matter how this team does, just the raw players they have on this team, they could trip over and win some games in the playoffs. Like, I would even say, even if they don't end up gelling, it's just going to be a hyper version of what Vitality was last split, where again, remember, everyone was like, oh, they're so bad, like, one game they're good, one game they're terrible. It's like, and you saw what happened in the playoffs. Dude, they almost beat Fnatic, the team that went all the way to the finals. Like, they almost themselves with quite a messy team did it. So to me, worst case scenario, they're at least going to be a playoff team and they're going to be like an outsider. And yeah, as you say, it's week 1. Like, there's so much time for them to gel and certain synergies to come together. Like, by the way, are people just going to act like Selfmade and Perkz should instantly fit together? Like, I don't think he's ever played with a jungle like Selfmade. What a unique player. Similarly, if you're someone like Alfari, you just always win your lane, then you consider this the game. Like, no, there's other lanes out. To me, they're all in a totally new experience. I wouldn't expect it to work from week 1. And this is the maddest take of all, because it could sound like pure copium. I can't even lie. This is the take. I'm actually glad they ran it down. And here's why. Because in my opinion, that is how, if you are going to be a really good team with all these powerful weapons, that's the fastest way to get things fixed, is to fuck it all up as much as you can now. Meanwhile, I'll give you the analogy. I would hate it if they played like the G2 Super Team last year, where they were just really boring. They just started out really chill. They were all sort of like playing semi-conservative, and it's like they just like narrowly lost a bunch of games. It's like, dude, that team never could explore its potential. It never could, because it's like they wanted everything to be perfect, then they were going to go into fifth gear. This team's trying to basically like ram it to fifth gear instantly, just they haven't just stalled the car basically. So my analogy is, I think, listen, I would guess from what I've seen in week one, yes, I imagine the next couple of weeks are going to be a little bit rough depending on the opponent, but I would say mid-split, I expect this team to be absolutely one of the best. It's just, it feels inevitable with the players. Like, even if one player, you pick which player, could be Kazi, maybe you're an Alfari hater. I noticed bizarrely there was a lot of those last year, even though he was amazing. Whichever one you hate, even if one of them sucks, that's the other thing about Perkz. I actually think when he has the control I believe he has in Vitality, he'll figure it out. They'll figure out a system in the team to work. Whereas I got the vibe also in Cloud9, he couldn't sort of work some of his magic behind the scenes to ultimately fix it. Like, there were egos, there was coaching and stuff. There was a different vision of the game to me. So to me, I'm not that worried at the moment. Listen, I am in the sense that the 0-3, that ain't great, and that's obviously going to hurt for trying to make playoffs. But I just feel like it's inevitable. This is one of the few times I've ever felt from a 0-3 team like they have to be good. They still have to be good.
Yeah, and it's not that hard to make playoffs. It's not like we're saying, oh, they have to beat a bunch of good teams. It's not LPL playoffs where there's 10 seeds and then you're dealing with like 6 teams that are potentially world class. This is playoffs where you just got to be better than SK, Astralis, XL, maybe Misfits, and like that's pretty much it. Like BDS as well. Like those are 5 teams. You can't be better than one of those. You only have to be better than one to make playoffs. It's not like we're talking about you having to be some insane team. Most of the other teams look like they're going to be just mid to bottom tier teams. Like Astralis, I already am like ready to say like they're probably just going to be 10th place. Like this team, we heard from what they were saying. It's like a development split for Dejor. Then you see their play. It's like, okay, but who are they going to beat? Maybe they take a game off BDS randomly. I mean, I hope they don't beat Vitality. If they start beating Vitality, then maybe we'll sing a different tune on this show. But you don't have that many teams that are competitive. You don't have that many people that you need to be better than. So the way that I see it is it's completely fine. Also, when you consider that people have COVID, they're not even in the same room together. I think that it's completely fine. The one person that I would be a little bit worried about on this team is Lebrov. Just because I've heard so many good things about this guy for so long, about how he was going to be one of the best supports in LEC. Sure. Then last split, he got rank 1. Like, he just needed to be paired with a different AD carry. Like, for some reason, the personality dynamics of him and Comp didn't work out. Okay, we got Crown Shot in there. Now everything's going to be fine. He just looks okay. He doesn't look great. Yes. Like, I would say that Targamas's performance looked more inspiring to me than just like anything Lebrov has done recently. So he's the one player I'm a little bit worried about, but I think that even if he does like not really make the cut, the rest of the players are good enough to make up the difference.
I'm with you on that in the sense that the actual player I've seen in the LEC, it doesn't look anything like the one that was in the RLs, and certainly not from all the community hype. I'd heard similar things from coaches and people who are experts. I want to go back, though. One last player before we move to another team. I want to ask about his bot lane partner, which is, you said there actually had very bold statements about Kazi, right? Which is, this is what I don't get, because certain time, like, I'm not the guy, by the way, who just goes to like a pro player friend who just grills them on all the topics. What I do is, like, every now and then I'll throw one topic their way. Otherwise, I actually sort of like to build my own perspective. And then usually it's if I say something that thinks egregious, they reach out like, oh, he's not actually like that. You know, he does talk more better. So in the case of someone like Kazi, I actually was surprised that there was all this bidding war. Like, G2 was going to get him, and then suddenly he's on this Vitality super team. Because what I don't get is, personally, I thought in Mad Lions last year, he was kind of whack. Like, I thought the other years, he actually was really good and very promising. I could see why people were hyping him. I thought last year, like I said it on Twitter, dude, not many, listen, don't go crazy again. It's like the Nemesis statement. Very few players have ever won 2 LEC titles, Dom. But of all the players that have won 2 LEC titles, I think he might be worse relative in those splits. Like, I thought he kind of did in some of the finals, etc.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely had some bad games, and I think that partly had to do with the fact that, like, in the first spring, he was playing, or in spring when they won the title, he was playing against Hansama, who I think was by far the best AD in Europe, like bar none. I don't even think there was an argument as to like, is there anyone better than him? No, not Reckless. No one was as good as that guy. I just feel like Karzi has like a good mentality towards the game. Like, I don't see him being the type of player that gets scared by negative things that happen in the game. So if you're in a 5-game series, he ends one game, I don't think he's going to suddenly play a lot worse in game 2, or he's going to be scared, or he's not going to want to go to the same pick because he just got shit on with that pick in lane. It seems like he's got more of that, like, he's pretty based in his mentality about the game. He seems pretty even keel, which I like in a player. I feel like you can just tell that certain players overreact to negative things that happen. Oh, this champion got picked. Oh, we got to ban that. We gotta get me on a new champion. Like, we can't play this. Like, he doesn't seem like one of those guys that's going to freak out. And I feel like you need a couple players on the team like that, because I sense like in some of the other players on his team, that could be a thing, like where they might overreact to bad things that happen. I think with Perkz and him, they'll keep them down to earth. They'll be more just competent and able to understand the actual problems, pinpoint them, and remove whatever is actually affecting the game instead of overreacting dramatically.
Sure. Yeah, I will say, like, the one aspect for me is, like, listen, you'll know it from the types of ADCs I like and don't like. One thing, as much as I don't like super conservative ADCs like Reckless, I also don't like ADCs that just randomly int. That'll always be something that tilts me. Yep. That's why I'm glad your boy Tactical's in fucking TSM good. Let him burn there in the depths of hell with Reginald. Fuck them. I don't give them. You know, they're not going to Worlds. Fuck them. They should put them in Academy League. They should be in the Academy League. Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.